Is your boy Mad Max. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the importance of self-acceptance while living with muscular dystrophy, or any disability, or even if you're not disability for that matter, the importance of self-acceptance. But before I get into what I want to talk about, I first want to talk about Maximus Moves, my health and wellness coaching service for others living with physical disabilities. Living with muscular dystrophy myself, I know how hard it is to find purpose and direction in life. Although it seems that I have everything together, that wasn't always the case. It took hard work and dedication, which is why I want to show the world how I did it. Think of me as your older brother and accountability partner with the mission to improve your mind, body, and soul. So if you or someone you know is currently living with a physical disability, book a strategy session with me in the description below, and we will create a personalized workout and wellness plan catered to your personal needs to take back control of your life. If you also want to join my private Facebook group for other like-minded individuals who are also motivated to take back control of their lives, link is also in the description. So back to the video. So today I'm going to be talking about the importance of accepting yourself while living with muscular dystrophy or any disability for that matter. And obviously this advice isn't only for people that are disabled, but I think everyone needs to learn more about self-acceptance and accepting who they really are. So my first point I wanted to make today is self-acceptance is how you achieve self-love. So many people are insecure. So many people really don't love themselves. And in order to love others, I truly believe you must first love yourself. And that means not only loving the good parts of yourself, but loving the not so good parts, and even the outright ugly parts of who you are. I'm not talking about outward appearance. I'm talking about inward, who you really are as a person. We all have negative traits and positive traits and certain things that are just unfortunate that we have to deal with. For example, me being in a wheelchair. That took so much work to truly accept that this is who I am. And unfortunately, I cannot change that. And rather than feeling bad about myself, I just had to accept that that is who I am. Another thing that I really had to accept, I personally am a very stubborn person. And sometimes it's hard for me to say yes. For me, I always like to say no. I always like to do it my way. But I've learned that there's certain instances where you should reach out for help. You should ask someone to help you out every once in a while. And that's a trait that I have to accept. There are other traits that I think a lot of people enjoy about me, such as my sense of humor and my positivity. But again, you really have to love the good parts of yourself and the not so good parts of yourself. And in order to love someone else, you have to first love yourself. And unfortunately, not a lot of people really love themselves. A lot of people lack confidence, whether they're able-bodied or not. And a lot of that has to do with not really accepting yourself. And it's just a sad reality. My second point I wanted to make about this topic: understanding what you can and cannot change, which goes a long way in self-acceptance. You have to accept the parts of you that you really can't change and the other parts of you that you can change. Obviously, I can't change the fact that I'm physically disabled and in a wheelchair, but I can change my attitude. I could change my stubbornness that I have. That's something that I can work on. My personality traits, my characteristics in that respect, you can work on. And you can understand that you can improve yourself. That's not to say you don't love yourself, but improvement in the sense that you really do love yourself, that you want to improve your own condition. And that's why understanding what you can and cannot change is super important, especially on your path towards self-love and self-acceptance. My third point, similar to my last two, realizing you are enough. So many times we think that we're not enough. So many times we think that our partner will fulfill us in a really deep way. And granted, having a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a husband or wife really does improve your lot and really helps with a lot of things. But you have to first understand that you are enough. So many times we think that we are not enough, that we need something external to help us, whether it be drugs, whether it be the internet, whatever your crutch might be. And too often it's coming from a place of not accepting ourselves, not accepting our disability, not accepting the way we look, not accepting certain personality traits that we have. But you have to realize that you really are enough, and that these thoughts of inadequacy, these thoughts that you really aren't enough, are things that you have to work on. And I think almost everyone needs to work on these, realizing that they are enough, realizing that they aren't an empty vessel, realizing that they can live happy, and fulfilling lives. Before I move on to my next point, I first want to talk about Creatine Monohydrate by Nutricost. You may be asking, what is creatine? Creatine is a powerful workout supplement that many athletes and bodybuilders like to supplement with their workouts. Personally, I use creatine every day to give me an extra boost in my workouts, and I recommend you do the same. Nutricost gives you 5 grams of pure unadulterated creatine monohydrate. No additives, no artificial colors, no artificial flavors, just pure creatine. Link is in the description below. Now back to the video. So moving on from my last point about realizing that you are enough, I'm going to go on to my fourth point, realizing how powerful you really are. So many times we don't realize how strong, how powerful, how determined, how powerful we are as divine entities. Too many times we think that we're not enough, we're not good enough. Too many times we compare ourselves with others. But the reality is, even that supermodel, even that athlete, even that actor, that actress, they have bad days. They are human. And too often, the reason why we don't accept ourselves is because we are busy comparing ourselves with other people. We have to realize that we are enough. We have to realize that we are powerful creatures in our own right, that we are divine, that we are beautiful. And too many times our insecurities get in the way and we are blinded by that, and we don't realize that we really are strong. And we all deal with insecurities. I know I have. Being in a wheelchair has definitely been an insecurity that I've been working on and learning to accept that about myself. And I've realized that if someone can't accept that, well, that's their problem. It's not mine. And I think that goes back to realizing that you are strong, that you are beautiful, you are tremendous in your own right. And I don't think anyone should ever forget that, whether they're disabled, whether they're able-bodied, whether they have any sort of condition or affliction. We have to realize that we are strong, we can do it. And a lot of times we have self-doubt, a lot of times we think, oh, it's not going to work out. But in the end, somehow it works out. Something somewhere in the universe is looking out for you. And going on to my fifth and final point, in terms of self-acceptance, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've been talking about this a lot in this video, accepting the good parts of you, the bad parts of you, and the outright ugly parts of you. The reality is, although we're adults, at least a lot of people watching these videos are adults, young adults, elderly, it doesn't matter. But the point that I wanted to make is that there are parts of us that are like little children, and sometimes they come out. Sometimes when we're in a bad mood, we'll lash out at other people. Sometimes we'll get grumpy. Sometimes we'll get hangry when we haven't eaten in a while. And that's a part of who we are. That being said, I believe that there is a lower part of us and a higher part of us. We always have to listen to that higher voice within us. But we also have to accept that we have that nagging negative voice within us. And I think that comes back to self-acceptance. Accepting the good, the bad, and the ugly. Accepting the more angelic parts of you. Accepting the more compulsive. The demons, if you will. And obviously, we all need to work on our demons and work on the parts of us that are not so pretty. But the first step is accepting that that's who you are. That there are some beautiful parts of you and there are some really ugly parts of you that everyone cannot stand. But there are other parts of you that people just can't get enough of. And it's about accepting that, accepting you as the whole. So just to wrap up this video, the points that I covered today regarding self-acceptance is that self-acceptance is the first step towards self-love, not only loving yourself, but loving others. My second point is to understand what you can and cannot change and accepting that. Number 3 is realizing that you are enough, that deep down inside, you don't need anything outside. You can always look within. My 4th point is realizing how powerful you are, realizing that we all are divine creatures. And my 5th and final point is accepting the good, the bad, and the ugly. The parts of us that we might not like, the parts of us that we really love, and the parts of us we truly detest. So please smash that like button, comment, subscribe, and until next time, it's your boy Max, over and out.